welcome to another episode of Cooking with Waddy, with your host, me, Waddy. First I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the first episode. That really means a lot to me, and I'm glad that you did. I'm glad you found joy, entertainment, and education in this series, and I hope you continue to, support it and all that other stuff. Whether it's 5 people, whether it's 20 people, whether it's 100 people, don't make no difference. I never make any of my shows for views or to be seen or anything like that. I do it because I have fun. This is what I want to do, work in, not cook, but work in the type of field I want to work in, and I enjoy it. And that's all that matters to me. I'm satisfied that I enjoy it. So like I said, I thank all you guys for your support and everything. So today on this episode, we are cooking cheesesteak sliders. Like I told you in the last one, we're gonna cook something a little more real, and cheesesteak sliders happens to be the best, mainly because I have bread that needs to be used, and I don't want it to go too bad. So yeah, that's pretty much that. So as I always say, let's get started. So I have my grease here, and I have my other pan for the steak. I usually let the grease get hot first because fries don't take that long to cook. I'm sorry, fries take a little bit to cook sometimes if you're frying them. However, that's smooth, it did. And the steakums don't take long either to cook. They don't take too long to cook. So we're going to, didn't mean do that. We're going to go ahead and put our steakums here first too. As I said, you want to start with your fries first. I went to Aldi. You can get your fries from anywhere. These are Season's Choice fries. Get a good close-up of that. Yep. Okay. Crinkle cut. That's the kind I like fried, honestly. And then we're gonna do that. And before you ask, yes, my hands are washed, just so we know that. But you want to go ahead and get your grease a little bit hot. You want to put a test fry in here. Make sure it's frying. Alright. Pop, pop. Man, no. Alright. Seems like it's frying like it wants to. Now, you can be tricked by that because sometimes fries don't want to cook the way they should. Fries, the grease can sometimes be tricky. Like, you put something in here and all of a sudden it wants to cook. And then when you put more in there, it doesn't want to cook. However, yeah, you definitely want your fries right, but it seems like the grease is working, and it's cooking. But you want to give it like some time because if I add more in here, sometimes it'll stop cooking, and I can't understand that to save my life. It's like you're not supposed to put cold stuff in there, but if the grease is hot, what's the point of that? So, however, it seems like it's cooking. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to get my steakums. Firstly, you can do, there's another brand and it's got a red box. I don't know what it's called. I just eat it. But these are Philly Gourmet cheesesteaks. Now, what you want to do for that is there's 6 in here, but I also have more just in case because I'm really trying to use up this bread. So when I go on vacation, I don't have blue mold on my bread and everything like that. So typically I freeze bread, but due to the holiday that just passed, I had some extra bread, which is okay. Now, as you can see, this fry seems like it's cooking. Okay, fries don't take too long to cook, whatever. But you don't want to, waste your time and everything. So, as I said, we've got our steak. Now, how we're gonna do our steak is kind of just like this in the next clip. Okay, now that we have our pan here for our steak, what I typically do with my steak is first I let it unthaw itself. So there we go. I let it unthaw itself a little bit. So before the making of this show, I had it prepared. So I let it get hot somewhat. It's not exactly too hot yet, but it's hot enough to go ahead and let it unthaw itself. And it seems like this is unthawed. Now since we have kind of amounts of bread, I don't want to cook that much because I live by myself. So what I typically do when I'm by myself is I kind of not cook as much. I cook enough because I know I'm going to eat again tonight. But I That's it. We take our bread. Bam. And like I said, it's frozen, and we understand that it's not quite ready yet. The heat. However, it's okay. You just turn up your heat a little bit. It'll start to sizzle in a little bit. Hold on, let me see if I can hear it. Okay, it's kind of getting there, or whatever. But what you can do is you can break up your meat too if you want to. The box says not to. I don't care. I do what I want, but let it give it some time before I put more up there. Now we're gonna move on to our fries, guys. It seems like the first fry is already done. All right. So it seems like we got our first fry here. Now, our first fry seems to be done. It's a little brown because I let it overcook, but that's fine with me. Because you rather have overcooked fries or undercooked fries. That's your choice. Now, seems like the first one is already done. Let's go ahead and add the others. Like I said, you put your test fry in first. Seems like it's cooking like it's supposed to. Now you just come on and add in the rest of them. And down. Oh, snap. Yep. Want to go ahead and get them in there, and they're starting to cook now. The way they're supposed to. Trying to get my handle on right. But you just add it on in there. Yeah. And like I said, it's only me, so I don't want that much. But for the sake of this, I will. And I can. I ain't got that much in that bag. I ain't worried about it though. I think I got more fries somewhere. If I don't, who cares? I'm going on vacation. So anyway, you want to get your fries up the way they're supposed to, and it seems like they're cooking the way they are supposed to. So you want to give your fries some time, typically not that long, but enough time to cook. That way when I put them on the plate, they'll be nice and friedy for us. Bam! Alright, now give it time. Sometimes you got to turn up the heat, but it seems like it wants to cook. So now we're going to go back to our steak because it seems like our steak is already ready. Alright, so now we got our steak. Seems like it's just about ready. Seems like you're ready. At least the heat is. So you want that to go ahead. You can break your steak up somewhat. Me, on the other hand, I'm going to add more steak because it's not done anyway. So it's safe to add more steak. And plus this burner is a little small, but see, it's starting to sizzle now. If you zoom in somewhat, sir, there you go. Seems like it's starting to cook now. It's sizzled the way it's supposed to sizzle. So I'm going to add some more steak. And yeah, typically, like I told you, you don't have to break it up if you don't want to. However, I just did. For the sake of, look, I don't want to sit here and try to break it up and then it's smaller than the way it's supposed to be. Just take your steak, add that up there the way you're supposed to, and then you give it time to cook. The heater is on 5, and there's 2 more steaks in this pack, so I'm gonna cook that. Anyway, but steakums are not hard to cook. You can see one of them is starting to turn brown, which is good. I don't know how many of y'all like red meat, or medium rare meat, or any of that, but I'm not that type of person. I like my meat all the way done, all the way well done, and then go from there. There, so we got our meat that's cooking. Our fries are cooking the way they're supposed to. I had no faith in that. I didn't think they were gonna do right for the purposes of the show. But as I said, got more meat, so now we're going to add some more meat inside. It's starting to cook, which is great. And we're gonna cook some more. Just add a little bit more, just enough. Like I said, we have the type of bread we're going to be using is Hawaiian rolls. So Hawaiian rolls, they aren't that big, and I don't have that many in that pack anyway. So we are going to let it be. Okay, so give it time to cook. So you want your meat nice and brown, so that you have it a bit like that. Now while we got our meat ready and our fries are cooking, give our meat time to sizzle and kind of recognize, oh, this is heat. That means I need to go ahead and turn brown. I can't be red for the rest of my life. So give that time. We are going to get our bread ready. Alright, now as a not certified chef, you typically want to keep your kitchen area clean, you know, so that you can have it all, you know, set for your next dish. Now, as I said, I'm going to wash my hands again, though, just for the sake of, since we are dealing with something different. You always want to wash your hands after you deal with meat anyway, just because so you don't get anything on your meat or anything, you know, the way that it needs to be. So, we are going to get our bread ready. Now, as I said, I have used Hawaiian rolls, King's Hawaiian rolls, straight from Hawaii. We love the island here over here. So, get that ready. Now, being the fact I'm going to put these in the oven just for butter purposes, let's go ahead and get some aluminum foil out. I'm out of this aluminum foil. This isn't going to work. Well, that's fine. This is a great thing. I got another box. Ha ha! Alright. So, we're going to take this aluminum foil here and open it. Alright. We're going to pull what the handle says. Too bad I cut my nail, so I can't really see that much. Bring some aluminum foil out. Oh, we got a hole. That's okay. Because guess what? That's what the other aluminum pack of foil is for. Sucker. Now, bring our stuff like this. Okay. Add whatever is left of the other aluminum foil out. And just kind of cover that up. That's enough to cover it. Hey, nobody said anything had to be perfect here. And on this show, it's definitely not going to be perfect. Don't ever try to live your life to impress anybody. You don't have to do that. You live your life exactly how you want to live it. Okay? I mean, you know, me personally by God's will. But, as in like, don't listen to other opinions from people. Because some people will try to come and bring you down. And in reality, you don't have anything they want. They're jealous of you. Which is a real thing, by the way. I have had people like that. So anyway, guys. So now we got our bread. I'm going to take our bread out. Meaning the fact there's not as much in here, which is fine. I think we cooked enough steak anyway, just to have it the way we're supposed to have it. That we want to have it. So, we're going to cut our bread. Give me just a second here. Our meat seems to be just about ready. If I can calm down with it. And we're going to bring our bread some. Now, as I said, this bread was kind of frozen. I mean, not frozen, but in the fridge. So, and you want it to warm up somewhat. Before you do that, though, before you set your bread onto this pan, you typically want to spray it. Because when I put it in the oven, just so it'll, you know, the cheese will melt and everything will come together, you want it to come right. So I don't want that much. I think I have enough meat to have enough bread up here. So, take it and just add you some slices or whatever. Typically, when you're making sliders, you kind of want to keep them together. I don't. Just for the sake of, I need to cut it too. And I'm not a very good cutter. And as you see that I made about, what, 14-12 or whatever. The sliders are not that big. They're typically this size. You can eat that or whatever, but take that. Now we're going to bring our knife. See, we got a sharp knife here. Now, as I said, I cannot cut. So how I cut mine now is with a sharper knife. And you want to go down in the middle of it. And just keep it open enough so that when you do it, you have it like that. Uh-oh, our food somewhat seems to be cooking the way you're supposed to, which is great. I had no faith. I thought this show was going to go the other way. Being that it's a breaking wall show and everything. So you want to keep your bread, cut it as much as you can. No, not too much. If you happen to cut the top off, it's okay. Nothing's perfect. Whatever. You want to make sure it's good for you. Alright, now we're going to have this here. Alright, bring that over. And like I said, I'm just cutting it. I'm not going to piece it together yet. Just about done here. So, after we cut our bread, we are now going to make sure our meat is prepared and that our meat, steak on meat, is done cooking. So when we add it, we got it done. But now, as you see, we've cut the bread. Now let's check on our meat. Good Lord, alright. Our meat is just about finished the way it's supposed to be. Yes, sir. You want your meat just brown enough, just right enough to cook the way you want it to cook. Got our meat right. Let me see. Mix that all together. Yeah, boy. Alright, I give mine typically a little more time just in case it missed anything, which I don't think it did. Because I've been stirring while we was cooking the bread, which is kind of why I said hold on. But you want to break your meat up somewhat. I think this is enough meat for for the rolls that we have. Before we do that, we need to check on our fries and make sure our fries are done. Like I said, you don't want them too hard, you don't want them too soft, unless you prefer that. Me, I like mine just right. And I have a cousin, and I can't think which one it is, but they care for hard fries, and I don't. Because why? Like I said, you want to make your teeth work, but not that hard. Alright, so our meat seems to be done. Before we do that, let's check on our fries. Alright, like I said, the color looks a little off to you guys because of the camera. But anyway, our fries seem to be done. So, we are going to, first of all, what I do is I take one out, as I said, just to do a little taste test here and make sure they're about done. So let's see what we got here. If wrong light on the side was a thing, this would be it. However, our fry plate will be done. So now we're going to take them out the pan. A little hot, but we're going to take them out the pan. Okay, our fries, like I said, are done. We're pretty tasty. So now we're going to set them onto the plate. Can y'all see that plate? No, which is fine. You know, right now, safety first. Whatever you do and all that you cook, make sure your safety becomes first. You always want your safety first. That's what's important here when it comes to safety. Alright, now we're going to take this and just put them on the plate so that that grease can drain out. Grease is typically not good for you. Fried food is not good for you, but I'm 30, so I ain't quite reached that part where grease isn't good for me yet. So, you know, I'm trying to enjoy it while I can. So once I push it, hey, that's it. You gotta be focused and all that now. So now we're gonna have this here. Put our meat here. Our fries here onto the plate. And then typically have it the way it's supposed to be. And then bam. You add that. Voila, you got your fries done. So we're gonna set that over here and add a little something extra to it. Before we do that, we check on our meat again, and it seems like our meat, yep, is finished the way it's supposed to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that off. Let that meat gun in there, and then we're going to add it to our Hawaiian rolls. And then have our Hawaiian rolls the way we're supposed to. Now, baby, did I fail to mention that before we need any of this, we're going to need some cheese? Cheese is very important to the essential foods of today. And we're going to need it for both our cheesesteak and our fries, because it wouldn't be a cheesesteak without cheese. Am I right? Alright, so for our fries, we're going to add a couple things to it before we let things marinate. First off, you want to add some salt. Because you don't want no dry fries or anything like that. And then we're going to add some cheese. Typically, if I really sat down and looked at it, I could tell the cheese taste differences of Mexican Kobe Jack and everything like that. However, I don't care, because cheese is cheese, and without cheese, you wouldn't be able to cheese it up the way you should want to cheese it up. So, add some cheese onto your fries if you want to. This is an optional option, but I typically add cheese into my fries when I have it. So you want to let that cheese melt, because unlike Chili's, my cheese isn't really that burnt. Sorry, but it's not. And then you're going to let your cheese melt somewhat, and then voila, you got your cheese fries. Now, let's work on our cheese steaks. Okay, now we got our cheese steaks here. As I said, I cut the bread before. Now I'm just going to line it up the way it's supposed to be. So when I spread my cheese steaks all over it, it's not, you know, in a bad way. Some of them was cut off a little different, which is okay. You know, what you want is your meat to come out right. That's it. That's all you want. And if you accidentally cut your bread in half, it's okay. Hey, nobody's perfect. That's what you gotta realize in life. Is nobody is perfect. None of us are perfect. We are not God. Only one that's perfect is God. Amen. Now I'm gonna bring this here. I think I have 2 ends somewhere, and I can't find it right now. And for the sake of time, I'm not going to do that. So we got our bread, as we can see, and so we got our bread spread out. Now we're going to add our meat. So how we add our meat is simply from the pan onto. You want to be careful now. Our bread. As I said, I think I have enough, just enough for this bread here, which I think I do. So we're gonna add some meat onto it. We can spread it out a little bit later. As I said, what's important is that we have some up here. And if you overbread it and add it more than what you wanted to, that's okay. As I said, it seems like I'm spreading it out somewhat, but as I said, we can spread more out as we go. And it seems like it's just enough meat added to the bread. Not as much as I thought. I could have made a little bit more, but for the sake of this, I am not. So we're going to add that here. I'm going to bring this knife and add whatever's up here. And then I'm going to just, as I said, my hands are clean, just so we know that. Hands are clean. So you want to bring that and just add your steak to the bread. As I said, some of it didn't make the cut. Some of it might have too much. But they're sliders. You just want to put enough up here so that when you put it in your mouth, it slides down your throat. Don't know if that's a pause moment. Don't care if it's a pause moment, but you want just enough. And it seems like I have literally just enough steak. I think I remember this last time. However, it doesn't matter. So now, before you do that, you wash your hands, because again, you touch meat. And now you're getting ready to spread your cheese out. Now, for the sake of this, and I live at home, I am going to spread my cheese like this. You don't put as much cheese, but you spread just enough out so that when you cheese it up, come on cheese, there we go. You know, you stick it, you put it in there, and I think that made just enough cheese for that made just enough actually. That meat, so you know, because I have some for leftovers and I might eat tonight. Who knows? Depends on my mood. If nobody cooks, invites me over. So, which I don't mind being at home. Bring your bread like this. I don't mind being at home because this is why I made this show. I'm at home, which means you can cook at home. Life is getting more expensive each and every day, or whatever, and I feel like I'm partly to blame of that. That's another story for another day. But anyway, you just want to bring your meat. And as I said, if you accidentally put in the end pieces to your bread up top, that's okay. You just have it kind of like this. And there we go. We got somewhere our cheese steakums here. And then all we need now is a little bit of butter to marinate the bread, and then we're going to set it in our oven. Alright, now I have buttered my cheesesteak. Due to the fact it was stick butter and I didn't want y'all to laugh at me the way I did it, I didn't have the spread butter, I just had the stick. It doesn't matter. Look, groceries is high. But anyway, as you can see, I have buttered our cheesesteak. Now we are going to, there we go, it's a better angle. I'm going to set them into the oven. I put mine on warm because nothing really has to cook, but you want your butter to melt just a little bit. So you want to give that time to cook. Alright, now we're going to check it. Oh, seems like it's already done. So we are going to take it out. Now if it was on aluminum foil, then and only then would I put my only hand inside. But it seems like it's cooked, just about done, just about ready. You just want the butter to sizzle in or whatever. Woo, it's a little hot though. Let's get that out the way. And voila. There you go. You have your cheesesteak sliders, and then you have your cheese fries or French fries to go with it. And so then, that's how you have it. Seems like that was a pretty successful meal. Now I'm going to cook it. Going to grab a couple of them. I tend not to be too fat, but typically I kind of like, enough on my plate. Put that. Give me a little bit of French fries here too. So anyway, that's how you can cook your meal. You cook your meal however it is you want. Cook your cheesesteaks right. I cook because, like I said, life is expensive. And why go grocery shopping if you're just going to go out and eat? So anyway, so I have my plate. If we zoom in on that, there we go. Thank you. I have my plate here. So I'm going to eat that, drink some milk, and work on what else I need to work on. Not a really hard meal to make. Pretty decent meal to make. However, cook how you cook. I want to thank you again for tuning into my show. I'm really glad to be a part of this creative process and everything. And like I continue to say, thank you for all those who continue to support me. All 8 of you that continue to support me. Or more, whoever it is, I don't know. I've never watched this show for real. But yeah. You should again check out. I hope you enjoy your holiday season 2, by the way. Spend time with your family, cook lots of food, eat a lots of food. If you're not one of those that eats leftovers, don't cook a lot. Because then you're going to complain, I need leftovers, blah, 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 etc. Whatever, you tired of stuff. Anyway, hope you enjoy your holiday. Be sure to check in on my next episode when I cook something else, whatever it is. And yeah, continue to listen to my other shows and watch my other shows, the podcast, blog show, and everything like that. And I will catch you next time on Cooking with Waddy.